Welcome back, and I appreciate y'all joining me. Today we're back over here in Wakulla County, Florida. While we're hiking, I'm going to tell you a story about a town wiped out here in North Florida almost 2 centuries ago by a hurricane, a major antebellum port for the cotton industry that serviced the antebellum slave plantations here in North Florida and South Georgia. The area is known as the Red Hills region. Port Leon was located on the St. Marks River here in North Florida in Wakulla County. In September of 1843, a hurricane pushing a 10-foot storm surge destroyed Port Leon. I'll tell you the story while we admire the nature and the beauty of wildlife around us. Although it only lasted 5 to 6 years before being destroyed, it was a useful and major port for this area. Today we're just scoping out the area that hikes in here. If it wasn't for being cabled off, you could just about drive a truck down in here. It's about 3 1/8 of a mile in as I'm going. I'm not going all the way to the St. Marks River. I have a different destination in mind, and so it makes it about a 6 1/4 round trip in and out. To fully understand the importance, you need to research and do a little bit of educating of yourself of the Red Hills region during the heyday of the cotton plantations and other plantations in the South before the Civil War. Port Leon was officially established in 1838 and consisted mostly of the former Magnolia, Florida residents. The area was developed by Richard Keith Call, who also happened to be the Tallahassee Railroad's president and chief stockholder. An interesting note, Richard Keith Call was also Florida's territorial governor at the time and owned 2 plantations in Tallahassee, Orchard Pond Plantation, which was a cotton-producing plantation, and The Grove. He owned a total of 118 slaves in the 1860 census. His intention was to capture the cotton shipping business away from the towns of Magnolia and St. Marks, which were both located a little further upriver. He could put the port access closer to the Gulf so the ships wouldn't have to come in as far. In 1839, Richard Call extended his railroad into his newly created town of Port Leon, therefore pretty much sealing the fate of Magnolia, Florida. These early railroads consisted of wooden rails which carried mule-drawn carriages over the top of them. The company also built a bridge at Port Leon across the St. Marks River. We're walking on the edge of what's known as Collins Hammock over here in St. Marks. Port Leon got its post office in 1840 and had a citizen population of around 200 citizens. By 1841, due to its port access closer to the Gulf, Port Leon was booming. It was incorporated in 1841, and in the same year, citizenship had grown to over 400 citizens. But in that same year, they suffered a yellow fever epidemic, killing 139 of the citizens. Most of those citizens are said to be buried in the Port Leon Cemetery, located somewhere here in these woods. You see a hog trap. Wild hogs are not native to Florida. Most people agree on the thought that they were brought here by Hernando de Soto around 1539. All along the path to Port Leon, you can see these coastal marsh areas, sawgrass, wetlands, prone to about all North Florida right here on the Panhandle, Big Bend areas. Mother Nature at its finest. So right up in front of us at this intersection, we should have Port Leon Creek coming back and coming it close through the edge of the woods. And with that creek being there, we might get the possibility to see some wildlife. See that deer way down there. Port Leon did start to recover, however, and in March of 1843 was appointed the county seat of the newly formed county of Wakulla. At its peak, Port Leon had over 400 residents, with several businesses including Daniel Ladd's General Mercantile and Warehouses. I found this ad online that was from his store. Daniel Ladd was a descendant of the Hamlins which founded the town of Magnolia, Florida, a little further upriver, also now gone. Some of the other businesses was the Port Leon City Hotel, Dinsmore's Tavern. They even had a newspaper called the Commercial Gazette of Port Leon. The town had its own sawmill, grist mill, had wharves for docking ships and loading ships, warehouses for storing goods for the mercantile business and shipping the cotton and storing the cotton and holding the cotton. Port Leon also hosted an annual fair. To more familiarize yourself with the time era that this town would have existed in May of 1843, the same year that Port Leon became seat of Wakulla County, Washington Hall Hotel in Tallahassee caught fire and burnt most of the downtown businesses. Edgar Allan Poe's short story was published this same year, The Telltale Heart. Also in 1843, the first major wagon train to the American Northwest with over 1,000 pioneers, containing 120 wagons and 1,000 head of livestock, set out from Elm Grove, Missouri on the Oregon Trail. And Port Leon was thriving from the sale of cotton from the Red Hills regions with its many docks. Let's back up and make our way back. When it was 5.5 years old, the town's growth and prosperity would come to a tragic end. On the morning of September 13th, 1843, a hurricane rolled in the Gulf of Mexico into the Wakulla area, pushed a 10-foot storm surge up the St. Marks River. At only a few feet above sea level, it consumed the town and destroyed most of the buildings in it. They purchased some new land and created what is now known as Newport, which was established by former investors of the Port Leon area, such as Daniel Ladd, James Orman, Peter H. Swing. Although now abandoned after 200 years, it's hard to believe in these woods such a town existed that played such an important role in the cotton plantation and economic of the area at the time. This area was also chosen as the first headquarters location for the St. Marks National Wildlife Refuge. I couldn't post the photo as it was copyrighted online. Today's trip was really more about scouting out the area, familiarizing myself and seeing what it'd take to pull off a good search. There's got to be some kind of post or stones. With the grist mill and the different things that was in this town, there's got to be some kind of sign left. So we'll definitely be back. We're going to walk this area, see what we can find. I'm going to head out. On the way out, I do see another deer. We'll stop and check that out. I appreciate y'all joining me, and I hope to bring you another video real soon where we'll explore this area and see what we can find, and even hike out to the coastline and see what's left of the port piers. Have a great evening. You see them old cat tracks right there. Coming back, I happen to look down this old trail that runs by the Levy pool, and there stands a deer. He's watching us watch him. That's a fine looking deer. That's a nice little buck there. Let's move on.